One of the most common questions I get from brand managers that we coach is how to make their one-on-ones better with their managers or with their bosses. So if you're going into your weekly one-on-one with a brand director in front of you and you're letting them lead the one-on-one and bring in the list of topics to talk about, you're doing things a little bit backwards. You should be going into your one-on-ones and leading those meetings yourself. So here are a few tips for how to do that and what you should have on the agenda. The first is I would come in with an agenda each time. Now, as you get more practice, you might not have this necessarily written down, or you might just have it like in your notes. But at first, I want you to practice actually creating an agenda on a sheet of paper, even if it's just a half sheet. And on this agenda, you need to have a few key buckets that you're going to walk through. The first bucket is FYIs, things that are recently completed, things that they need to know have been completed and have been crossed off the list, but that are more major events from the past week. Here, you're not actually asking for them to take any action, and you want to make that clear. You're simply informing them, and no action is required. The second bucket then that you're going to move to are the things where you need action from your manager. So these are things where you don't have authority to make a decision or to sign off on something and you need them to do that. These could also be things where you have a political issue internally or cross-functionally that you need more of a top-to-top discussion to happen. Or there are things where you might have a question, you've gotten a little bit stuck, and you want their perspective on how to move forward. Whatever the scenario is, the point is, these are the few areas where you're directing their attention and saying, here's where your attention and energy and an action might be necessary. Now, obviously, you don't want that part of the list to be too long. Otherwise, it means you may need to be taking on a little bit more autonomy, but you want to direct your attention to this short list. The third and final thing is opening up to your manager and saying, what are the things you might have this week? And then realigning on priorities for the week moving forward. So always be on the same page with what the most urgent priorities are for the coming week, where you're going to be focusing your time and your energy. Those are the things you want to walk out of there with.